I am Morey White.
I'm Tracey White.
And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation podcast.
Oh my goodness, we should do that.
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus. Rock on.
That was really funny, and we are live.
Oh, hey!
It's not really live, it's a live recording. Now that's one of my favorite oxymorons. Live recording.
We're recording live, but you're seeing it as a recording. That's what.
It's kind of like, do you ever get that numb feeling?
I'm alive right now. Are you alive?
I'm alive.
Oh my soul.
Numb feeling, yes.
All right, let's jump into this thing, guys. How you doing, Morey?
Oh, I'm doing great. Work's busy. Very, very busy.
Awesome.
Major fires to put out, which is always a challenge. So yeah, it does stress the mind a little bit. But other than that, things are going well.
Beautiful.
I will likely be taking this weekend off. I'll be out of town probably. Just letting y'all know.
You gonna be gone Sunday?
Maybe. I don't know yet.
Okay.
Don't know yet.
You never know from week to week who's going to be in. Who's
well, I need to spend some time with my wife, so that's what I'm going to do.
Very good.
We both need a break. So.
Sounds great. How about you?
Oh,
Tracy, how are you doing?
T-cam over here. I'm doing all right. Again, work is busy. Work is busy. Both the regular job and then this the reserve thing. You know, it's always on my mind too.
Oh yeah.
But what's really on my mind is that, you know, just a little over 3 years, I get kicked out of the Air Force. They only let you do 33 years and then you're done. They're like, thank you for your service. You're retired now, right?
And your life really gets kicking in.
Yeah. So, but it gets me forward thinking into, okay, well, I'll retire from the military, and then I've got this plan, right? The plan, another 5 years in my regular job, and then whenever I hit that certain age, a big 60, I'm going to be the plan. The plan is going to be done.
None of us know what's going to happen, right? I mean, we need to plan. Yeah. But you never know. I mean, here's Kobe Bryant, you know, we just heard the horrible news.
Yeah, that was horrible.
And always shocking. It is strange. I mean, people die every day, right? Yeah. But when it's somebody people know who they are, and a lot of people know who they are, it always is just a jarring reminder, you know, that every day, you know, any day, I don't know how long I have. I'm hoping I got another 50 years or so in me. But I might not make it home tonight. I mean, we don't know.
I hope you do.
Well, I hope you do.
I do too, man.
Sunday would be really boring.
Right? Well, I'm just saying every moment's important, and we need to, you know, make sure we're living as God wants us to live every day. We're not waiting down the road till I'm finally going to live and do. I need to be thinking like that every day. Anyway. It's kind of a weird way to start a podcast, but
it is weird.
Yeah, We're all depressed.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go cry a little bit.
Don't cry. So other than that depressing stuff, how are you?
I mean, you might die tonight, Johnny, but how are you?
Really? I'm dying right now.
Sorry, guys, I have some bad news. I have AIDS. Age is killing me.
Age is killing me. I think they're AIDS at first.
No,
I thought you did too.
Age. I have age.
Age.
I have a terminal illness. Age.
Yeah, I have a terminal illness called
life. It is kind of weird. My life keeps going, which means, of course, I'm dying. So anyway. What?
What podcast is this?
Listen, all I know is
typical.
I'm never going to die.
Never going to die in the end.
The vessel might,
but you will continue. That's true.
We get new bodies.
Yeah.
I'm going to be skinny. I'm kidding.
I want to be bionic.
Oh, yeah.
Which just means I have to go slow motion everywhere. whatever.
That's right. And
You'll
make
have a
that
long
noise.
time to get there, so what's the hurry, right? This is the weirdest we've ever started the podcast.
This is a weird one.
Anyway.
Well, I was gonna say too. No, I'm tired. I'm just sleepy. I'm always like this after big Sundays.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really know.
Which was fun.
Which
a
it was
big
fun.
Sunday.
Looking forward to talking about that in a minute. But
Hi, Al.
hi, Al. Are you watching? We hope you are. I'm just tired because it was a full week last week, as everybody has. But I was up a little late on Saturday, but I always get up really early on Sunday mornings. So typical Sunday morning, and particularly on big Sundays, we have to be there a little bit earlier even. 5 o'clock is, when I get going, get moving in. 5 a.m.
Sorry, y'all. I don't do that.
Well, I do.
I think I slept in until 7.
That's great. Well, I mean, I've got
7:20 for me. Sorry.
I got more I got to do to get ready.
Yes.
But
True.
yeah, so 5 a.m. and then the problem was I was up late and then I'm up early, and then on Sunday I was hoping to get to bed a little bit earlier, but I wasn't. And so by the time the alarm was going off this morning, I was like, oh my soul. I mean, I was dragging, I was yawning all day. A couple times, a short break, I just thought I was going to fall asleep. So once again, here we are on a Monday.
Here we are on Monday.
So it's either going to be really great or it's going to be really bad.
Do you have a case of the Mondays?
But no matter what...
Maybe this is the wrong time to do this live recording.
Yeah, you're right.
On a Monday.
On a Monday. Well, it's all right. I mean, it's just, real life. So, I mean, at least we're consistent. I mean, I'm really impressed. What episode number is this? I mean,
11,
I've lost track.
I think this one, because I was watching last week's, again, today.
Yep.
And it was episode 10. It was labeled as episode 10. So
That would make this 11.
that would make this 11. Although... I'm wondering, are you counting by twos? I mean, have we really done that?
I can't believe we've done that many.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, some of them are really great. Some are like, but we're like this one. Like this one could be one maybe nobody should listen to.
Oh my goodness!
But it is fun.
I'm sure there's a lesson in here somewhere.
Nah, maybe. What I like about us getting together every Monday too is it gives us a chance to kind of process and chew through the day before. Like I'm thinking of things that I had hoped to have made a little more clear during the message, and I can just, bring it out right here. So this is like the special features.
Oh, are we being put on the spot here? Because there is a right and a wrong answer. So he'll ask us a question, and if we get it wrong,
you're out.
That's what the little shock things are that we're wearing on our ankles.
You guys just now figuring that out? That you have the electronic... Oh, well.
Right. That's funny.
Once again, this is weird. This is just...
Okay. Focus.
We're back to it. All right, where do you guys want to start? I mean, we've already kind of jabbered here for a few minutes.
Let's talk about yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about yesterday.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know about you guys, but the music was awesome.
Yeah.
In spite of some difficulties.
Yes, we did have some difficulties.
Yeah.
I was proud of Michael because, last minute shows up. I mean, they were running late. So he was late because of either an alarm or something, and he was supposed to be there with me. So the backup is that he came with Leona. So Leona is always stopping by the store on the way in, and so he gets there late. Then when he gets there, he discovers, the guitar is not here. That's right. So he got to practice with us Sunday morning, hardly any. So when he came rushing in, he was all out of breath.
Yeah.
But
he still nailed it.
He still did great. Yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of weirdness in the first song, but he got it. Which was awesome.
He did a good job.
He did good.
Michael, you did a good job.
Good job, Michael.
Michael's not watching, but I'll tell him.
Well, he's got to watch this one so he can hear us say good job.
Because that's the only time we're going to say it. That's it, Michael.
But I mean,
I was proud of it.
The point is that we have been given talents, and we've practiced our talent. And
it's a little of both, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that it makes us good musicians, and so whenever things are, not happening exactly as we want them to, we get to rely on our God-given talents.
Yes, and what we practiced and
what we practiced.
That reminds me, I used to have, I'm sorry, Tracy, I had a professor in college who, before every test, because it was this Christian college, he would pray. We would pray together. And that turkey, he would always pray, God help each of the students to remember the things they studied before going into this test. So if you were asking and waiting for a miracle that you would just pass because you didn't study, what's going to happen?
I'm gonna have the
Help them remember the things they actually studied.
Right. Other than that, they're out of luck.
No miracles. Yeah. So, but that's true. I mean, Sunday we were playing. We've had a couple of those moments we kind of had to watch, and that all just comes from consistent practice and prayer and being ready. But yeah, we didn't just get up and wing it.
Right. Right.
No, somehow my guitar got just a tad out of tune.
Oh, did it?
And so I was trying to tune while I was playing.
That's from years of experience right there. It's that gigging.
I kept waiting for that open A so that I could tune that string.
And nobody else noticed.
No, no one else noticed.
All right.
No, I don't think so. In fact, we had visiting with us the great Al Barrera. And, the great Al. He just was like, man, that was great. I mean, he really was very impressed at how that whole time of worship music went and just how good it sounded. And he was also impressed that everybody was really into it and worshiping and singing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's the thing is we've gotten to a place because we do have the God-given talents and we have taken the time to practice that we have the ability at that point to truly worship.
Yeah.
And for me, I start dancing a little bit. I can't help it though.
Me too.
I can't help it.
Well, the good news is, since I'm playing keyboard, I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
So I don't even know what
I'll
you
start
did.
jumping.
We start getting little notes. Something about the bass player.
Yeah, he keeps moving too
He
much.
keeps jumping around.
Keep his eyes open.
That's what I do. I close my eyes. I just groove with it.
Well, Al actually stood up for a minute and took a picture during the first song.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and he posted that on Facebook. He tagged me in it, and it was like, great blessing to be with my faithful friend, Johnny Leckie, and to worship at Compass Church this morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That is very cool.
That's good.
So
yeah, so you and I had a little conversation after talking about how I was thinking about, was I getting into the music or what it's like getting into the worship? Remember that little discussion?
Oh, right. Were you like enjoying the musicality of what's going on, or were you actually connecting with God through the words?
And it was both.
It is.
Yeah, it's both.
And it was fantastic.
It was.
What a blessing.
God doesn't want you to not enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot enjoy worship.
Okay.
Although I've been in some churches where that seemed to be the case.
I think that's kind of part of
Why are you smiling?
The part of the
not
experience is enjoying the worship.
of course.
I think it's important.
Yep.
So,
Well, ultimately, for those of us who are, believers and Christ followers, it's that old. It goes way back. I mean, it's not original to me, but there's, some people think that it's the people up front, or the actors, the people sitting out in the crowd, or the audience, and God is prompting us, but it's actually us on the stage who are prompting and leading. The people in the congregation are the actors per se, and God is the audience, right?
Yeah,
We're
right.
worshiping Him.
that's right.
That's right.
Right, so that's
awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I didn't come up with them on. I can't remember who said it originally, but it's that idea.
Yeah.
That's the mindset we want to have going in.
Right.
This will be there's an audience of one. We're worshiping Him. So
That's correct.
we will by default enjoy that process. So that's the way that works.
And to top it all off, there was a good lesson.
Oh, good. And I wanted to talk a little about that lesson. And that's the great thing.
Parables.
And there will be more parables. That's a couple of steer, right? Oh, wait, no. A parable. Okay. Anyway, it's like paradise. Paradise. All right, anyway, parable. No, there were a couple things, actually, as I went back and I was listening through, because we have a video of it that we'll be posting. I was thinking, there were a couple of things I didn't make as clear as I wanted to make clear, but I think everything worked for the time for that day. Just like when we make mistakes, and nobody notices. I know nobody went, "Hey, he didn't say." But I always think, "Oh man, there was something I wanted to share." So anyway. But what about that? I mean, what about the message?
It was really good. It was the parable of the sower, but you rephrased it as the parable of the soils.
The soils. It's hard to say.
Which you know what, you're right. And that's exactly what it was.
That's right.
But I think what got me is how you started it. It was in there about a third of the way. You were talking about Jesus being creative.
Yes.
And I was thinking today, honestly, it was pretty funny because I was thinking about, you were talking about God created the world, so therefore he is creative.
Of course.
Then I thought, and he has a sense of humor. Bill Platypus.
Bill Platypus.
Exactly so it made me giggle.
What a mashup.
So I was just sitting there and I started laughing, and people kind of looked at me funny. But
well, it's funny that point in the message. It's like pastors. We look at a passage and want it all to be so cohesive, and this goes into this, and this goes into this, and this. But when you look at that passage, it's like this really needs to be commented on. This needs to be said. It doesn't flow as well, except for the fact that you tie it to the idea of the parables as well, and there's some creativity happening there. But I just wanted us to all remember, I mean, Jesus getting into that boat and talking to the crowd, creating that natural amphitheater, isn't something that was common.
No, that's pretty cool.
So, we think of it now, we think of Jesus, of course, Jesus in the boat teaching.
He was kind of a rebel, right?
well, yeah.
I mean,
against that status quo.
Right,
yes,
and I don't mean that in a negative way,
right,
of course. I mean that, in a really positive way. He was very creative.
Very creative,
So, and I think the point, I mean, the parable it has a good lesson to the parable itself, but I think more than just the parable, it was about the use of parable.
Yeah.
Right? So that was part of that message too.
Yeah, and that was something I was going to say that, and I'm not sure I brought this out as well as I would have liked to, but Jesus tells the story, this parable of the soils or parable of the sower, and he just describes this scenario of the sower going out, and some falls on the path, and some falls on the rocky ground, some falls among the thorns or whatever, and he just leaves it at that. So I'm just thinking, if you're a guy sitting out there and you're a farmer, and you're not really interested in Jesus at all, but you're hearing him speak, the response might be, hey, he's right. I should be more careful in how I throw my seed around. I should be careful in how I sow.
Yeah.
But if you are open and you're really seeking and you want to know the truth, the parable creates a hunger and a thirst so that those who are serious about the message he's giving, they're the ones that came to him.
And they did.
And that's what I wanted to say, because for the longest time I thought it was just the 12.
Right.
But as you read it, it was the others who were with him. Yeah. And it sort of implied that people who had heard those parables and went, I want to know more. And this is intriguing to me, but what do you mean?
Yeah.
Those are the ones who got the key.
Yeah, they came to him. You know what's really interesting?
They were in the good soil.
They were in the good soil.
I got a little different way of looking at this, and just kind of want to get your thoughts on this. Is
heresy.
I know, heresy. No. I got to leave.
I'm sorry.
I think,
I haven't even heard him yet.
I know.
But hang on to that.
But maybe
hang on,
we may have to come back.
Get it ready. Get the card ready. So there has been times in my life where I have been every one of those different types of soil. But I have been cultivated until I am, I'm better soil now than I have ever been. But I have continually been cultivated by God.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course that makes sense. I mean, sometimes people are not ready. They're not there yet. And I think that's part of it, too. I mean, like when he talks about the the seed that falls on the path, and then the birds come and take it away.
Yes.
And then Jesus says, of course, the seed is the word. It's the word of God. It's the truth of who He is. Really getting specific about it, and that just takes it right out of their mind. And sometimes people are like that, and they're just so susceptible to what Satan might say more than they are to the truth. But later on,
that happens.
Yeah, that happens all the time, right? With the world system or whatever. All of those kinds of things, and I was even talking with Al about this afterwards, that, it's like, how do you illustrate this parable? And ultimately, I just kind of parked at the idea that it illustrates itself pretty good. I mean, I don't have to give too much extra illustration.
It's even relevant today, even though I'm pretty sure not many of us go out and sow seeds. Maybe on Farmville or something like that.
Oh, right, little seeds, right.
But I'm talking about, you talked about in the time there might have been a farmer out there, or a lot of people had to, they're self-sustaining. They had to.
Yeah, it was a different kind of farming.
Right? Well, and Jesus did that a lot. He drew direct parallels to things of the day that were like normal for people.
Yeah.
And just to know that stuff is still relevant today. I'm not a farmer, but I get it.
But you get it.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
It is cool. It carries the truth of it makes its way through history pretty well. The idea behind it. It's like, it's kind of weird because he's like, some people think, well, let's blame the preacher on how well the message was. And in this case, Jesus is like, nope, I'm blaming you. It's like, you can either hear this or not hear this. And again, that's not like a general message.
You're just trying to get out of trouble. Huh? No, but you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that sense, at least then and in that time, in that moment. Yeah. And again, there were people, like we had just read in Mark, that there were people out to get him. There were people who were trying to trap him and trick him, and they weren't listening because they cared about the truth. And Jesus was so wise in that moment, is that he still wanted to connect with those who would hear the message and not be distracted by. So it's pretty ingenious the way he uses the parable there, because he's still connecting with the people who need to hear it, but goes right over the heads of the people who they're not going to get it anymore.
Right.
So, yeah. That was
very
fun.
interesting.
Well, and again, it's tough for me because I go, okay, we're doing our big Sunday gatherings once a month. I don't know if you guys have done the math on this, but that's 12 messages a year.
Yeah. Oh, I can do the math on that.
It's pretty not too complicated, right?
Right.
What? Are we going to be in the Gospel of Mark for the next 5 years? Is that what? I've gone back and forth.
I don't know.
But it is.
If so,
good.
it's okay.
It's okay. It's good to go. It is very good to take certain passages of Scripture and just go verse by verse through them. Yeah. I call that sometimes, though, it can become not seeing the forest for the trees. Some people say you can't see the forest because you're too far in. Sometimes if you get too locked into just verse by verse, you get into this kind of thing like this.
Right.
And it's almost bark by bark, and not even tree by tree.
And
you can miss the big picture. But
you actually talked about that, talking about parable. It's not what's the other word you use? Big word, so I wouldn't know it.
I don't know more.
Not an allegory?
Oh, it's not an allegory.
Not an allegory where you have to pick apart every word. And you're right. If you start... the parable is the parable. It's pretty straightforward. If you try to pick apart every word, you're totally going to miss.
Yeah, and I've heard some messages that given on parables or going through a particular parable, and they try to find some kind of parallel with every little detail. But you can't do that. It wasn't that kind of thing. Now there are other times where there is teaching and there is meaning behind every little thing, but not in the parables. The parables, right. you never want to build your doctrine on the parable unless it's the one truth of the parable.
Right.
So it's that general idea. It's like like I said, some of them were so spontaneous, it might be a bird flies by and Jesus goes, consider the birds of the air, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or so there was a situation. He tells a short story and he lays it alongside a real life something.
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind it. He's illustrating a quick truth, and it's whatever people would have in that moment immediately thought of as, whatever that one big truth is. That's the truth of it.
And the ones that were listening, and he said, let those with ears hear, right?
Those who have ears to hear.
To hear, yeah. Yeah, but he's talking about, he's not talking about hearing, whereas he's talking about listening and understanding. And, listening for the purpose of understanding. And those that are actually seeking are going to listen for that. That is probably a skill that today many people have lost. We listen to respond rather than
we're already forming our rebuttal.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, I was thinking of something else.
And that takes practice. And that's personally I've tried to work on is listening. And not listening to respond, but listening first to understand.
Yes.
So then I can respond appropriately.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's very good. Yeah.
Way to go, bro. Woohoo!
A gold star.
I knew something right. Gold star.
You get a gold star.
Gold star.
Well, I mean, I mentioned that...
Deep thoughts with Tracey White.
Write them down. Write down these deep thoughts.
I have a book. 2 pages.
2 pages.
Table of contents and then the page.
Kind of a pamphlet.
Anyway, what I was going to say is that what was tough about it is there's that little section in the middle there where Jesus is quoting that bit from Isaiah.
Yeah,
he's using very similar words.
Right.
And it looks like, if you read it a certain way, that it looks like I'm telling these stories to because I don't want you to understand. Mm-hmm. And that's not what he's saying at all. So that's why I've phrased it that he offers an invitation. Because before the parable and even after the parable, it's like, first listen. So that's your invitation. Listen to this. And then if you have ears to hear, let him hear. Right? And so that's the invitation to draw him in. It creates a thirst. It creates a hunger. And that's the invitation. It's like, come discover more. He didn't insult their intelligence in that moment. He just throws it out there. Mm-hmm. And that's the invitation. So
I didn't start my timer till later. We got probably a few minutes on top of that.
Excellent.
5 minutes on top of that. Just FYI.
No, well, let's
Sorry.
wrap things up pretty quick. I mean, but it was a good day. I'll just say that. Was there anything else about the message? You got any questions? I say anything stupid? You guys want?
No.
I want to address because anything could happen.
The only other thing I want to express joy over is that we had somebody that we hadn't seen in a long time come back and visit us again.
That was great. And she took a T-shirt too.
Yay.
That's a positive.
And I would like to see her back again.
Absolutely.
Really
it'd be encouraging to her. And there were a couple who weren't there who I have since spoken with, and very good reasons they weren't planning to be there this coming Sunday.
Awesome.
So, excited about that. So, who knows what?
Then I'll be there.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere.
I'll be there, but next week, the week after, I won't be there.
Well, that's just life. We have the ebb and flow. I was telling Leanna that we can't judge the success of what God is doing in our church right now based on any given Sunday.
That's right.
No.
There are people in, there are people out, but when you start looking at the bigger picture and stuff happening behind the scenes and some things I know that you guys don't even know about that God's doing things in people's lives right now, it's a kind of a cool thing, We keep pressing on. I mean, I'm looking forward. I looked at the 2019 in review. Did you guys ever see it? Did you have a chance to watch that video I posted? And most of it you'd already seen, but it was just like that means no, right? That face?
I saw some of it.
Yeah, you were there for
you were in most of it.
Yeah.
All right.
So you lived it, right?
I did. I'd love to see it again.
Well, anyway, just watching that and realizing, we did a lot. Speaking of planting and farming, there's a lot of planting we did this past year. And hopefully we're going to begin to see some harvest, some fruit from that as well.
So.
Well, we need workers.
We're going to do a lot more this year.
For the harvest.
Yeah.
We're going to triple our efforts. No. We're going to wear everybody out. No, we're not.
We'll keep doing what God wants us to.
That's exactly right. All right, guys. Well, anything else you guys want to throw out here before we're done?
Absolutely.
No, we'll throw it.
John 3:16. Read it.
Read John 3:16, Morey's signature line.
One of these days he'll have the sign.
We're going to show one of these things. I'm going to have a rainbow wig for you to put on and a big sign, and you will just hold it up at the appropriate time.
You got to pay real money to
Then we'll take a picture, and then all the podcasts that you don't say it, I will insert it after the fact.
Can we insert that into the technical glitches instead of me with the balloons?
You and the balloons. That's the best thing ever.
The balloons were
two podcasts back.
I can't believe you posed for it.
It happens.
I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys. Well, do we have any final words before we wrap up tonight?
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you. I'm trying to think if there's anything. There's nothing really to promote just yet, but we've kept January a nice, just even steady keel after the big holidays and all the stuff we did. But February's coming. March is coming.
Yep.
Things coming.
This coming Sunday is base camp.
Base camp Sunday this Sunday is going to be awesome. Looking forward to that. But I think that's all I have.
All right.
How about you guys?
I'm good.
That's all I got.
All right, once more. You said final word?
Love you guys. That was my final word.
Peace.
Love, peace, grace to you all. Thanks for watching.
That was good.
I think we're done. That's all we got. We're out.
Bye.